Well guys, it's been a minute since I've been able to give you any kind of update on the new workspace, the new studio, workshop, whatever you want to call it. I'm not entirely sure what I call it yet, but truth is, there's a reason I haven't been able to give much of an update. And that is, I've been so busy that I haven't really been able to do near as much as I've wanted to in the new space. I've now basically had it for 2 months, and I haven't really started using it yet. It's mostly good reasons why I haven't been able to use it yet. For starters, I've just been extremely busy. So busy that I can't really stop production and fulfillment now just to get moved into the new space and start using it for production. So it's been a really hard, difficult timing issue for me, but also I've just been gone a lot. So right after I got the space, I had a little trip, and then I just got back from a road trip to Orlando, and now I'm leaving again here in about 3 weeks. So being really busy plus being gone a lot has really made it difficult to get set up and start using the place like I've wanted to. But that being said, I have made some progress. So this short video today is going to kind of show you what I've done to this point. And it's really mostly about kind of painting, some setup, and kind of a little bit more of the layout. Throughout the video, I'll be discussing, kind of what I'm planning and what I'm thinking about doing. Although I've already realized those plans are changing quite a bit. Almost weekly, I'm reimagining things, and that's causing me to make some changes to the plans and to the layout. But that's okay. Businesses are a living, breathing organism. They're always evolving, always changing, and that's a good thing. You want to always stay on top of your toes when it comes to business, and a new space is part of that. Before I go any further, if you haven't seen the first video about this new space, check that out. I'll have it linked in the description below if I remember, but you can just find it on my channel. It's not too long ago, about a month or two back, and it's an overview of the empty space before I've done anything at all, bare naked, bare bones, what it looked like the day I took over the keys. And the reason I bring that video up is it goes into a little bit more detail than this video will about what I planned to do with each area of the space, and I talk about the actual specific processes for each location and area, because it's a pretty big area. If you haven't seen it yet, it's divided into kind of 3 sections. There's a warehouse section, there is and then there's 2 other sections. This video will show some of that as well. But that first video talks about the plans and the layout, as well as some of the things I plan to purchase and put in that space. Whereas this video is more of an update. So what have I accomplished thus far? Now, do I wish I'd be further along than I am right now? Of course. In fact, I don't really have any equipment for candle making set up yet. I mean, some of it's there, but I haven't really set it up. This is all about kind of putting together the bones of the building. So making it look the way I want to look and starting to add kind of the fundamentals like shelving and things like that. So that's really all this video is, but many of you have been asking for an update and you've just wanted to see what I've got done so far. So here you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, I'm going to start off with a few pictures just to remind you of the empty space before. But again, check out that other video for a more detailed overview. But it's pretty big warehouse space. And then I've got these separate rooms, which is like production. And then there's a area for like break room and YouTube recording, a lounge, meeting space. These are all the different spaces you're seeing right here. And so there's going to be a lot of different ways I'm going to use this space, but I wanted to give you just a refresher of what it looked like empty. And let's go ahead and start. So we're going to start off in the warehouse and throw some paint on. So this area that I'm painting black here is only one section of this is getting painted black. And the reason for that is that's the only area that's going to be really accessible to anyone to come in. It's going to be where I have some products on display and things like that, but it's really not necessary to paint the rest of the warehouse. And you'll see that more as we get further along in the video. Further along in the progress of this new space. Here I'm just doing some cleanup. Get a lot of dust, spray dust when you use those sprayers. Yeah, so you get to see me doing a little bit of work here. Not sure entirely why I left much of this in, but apparently I did. So I spent a lot of time buying some cleaning supplies and yeah, just having fun making the space my own, so to speak. So I really have enjoyed it, even though it's been a lot of this type of work early on. So let's move into the next space where some more painting started happening. This is production area, or one of the production areas where I'll be doing some recording and some testing, some lab stuff. This is me just spraying some of these cubes. I've got an idea for these cubes, but that idea is ever changing. So hopefully I'll share a little bit more about that as we move along. So we went with some orange, and there's a reason for that. Orange and gray in this room. And again, you'll see a little bit more of the reason for that down the road, but I just wanted to share some of the progress, what it looked like. We thought it ended up looking pretty good. I know still the colors might be confusing some people why we went with those colors, but just kind of ignoring that fact for a second, we had a lot of fun. I had some help here, some really good help from Adam, helping me do all this because it was kind of a pain in the ass, to be honest. Next, back over to the warehouse, we are starting to put up some of these shelves. Now these shelves came from Sam's Club, and they're really good industrial shelving, and actually Lowe's sells the same one in a Cobalt brand. So they're like about $180 a piece, but they're great quality. These things go together so easily. They were awesome, as opposed to some other shelving you're gonna see here in a little bit. You can see we're always rethinking things, changing our mind on things. In fact, we even have to slide these shelves as we decided to do things a little bit differently. And so we found out that we could actually butt these two together and save some shelving by reusing some of the ends. Like the ends ended up being middle pieces for the next one. So we're able to get more shelves out of it, which is cool. So the back row is done. Moved on to the middle row. And again, I think we might end up changing the layout of these again for another reason that, well, I'll talk about later if we end up going that route. But this is going to be a combination of materials ready to pick and pack, products ready to pick and pack, as well as on some of them holding materials and supplies as well. So as you can see, I've got some bins up there for that type of thing. But we like the way these turned out, and they go together so easily. We were able to build all of those in the same time it took me to do 2 of these next shelves, which you're about to see here. And you're going to see me struggling here. I almost took this out because it's a little embarrassing, but you get to see me really struggle getting this first one together. They just do not, it's like a 2-person job. It really is. This was not fun for me. I just kept fumbling with it and fumbling. It took so long just to get the first one done. It was quite hysterical. I was laughing at myself, actually, along with some other choice of words. Yep, and here, oh, yep, there we go. Well, that's embarrassing. But anyways, it took a long time to get this first one together. This is more what you'd see like in your standard garage shelving. So what is the plan for these shelves? Well, before we go any further, that is where today's sponsor, Crafty Base, comes in. If you've been a part of this channel for a while, you know that I've been using Crafty Base for a number of years for my business. The operations, the recipes, the orders, production, but most importantly, raw material inventory. I have a few videos here on the channel overviewing Crafty Base and all of its features and how I use it in my operations. Definitely check those out if you haven't already. But I wanted to mention a couple nice features that really play a part in today's video, specifically to the organizing of raw material inventory, and again, how I plan to use these shelves. Now, in all Crafty Base levels, you can add materials as well as stock take and perform reports against those materials. Physically organizing those materials, of course, is crucial, hence the shelves. And like I said, in every version of Crafty Base, you'll definitely be able to do that. However, there's another bonus awesome feature in Crafty Base that I wanted to mention real quick as well. And I believe at the time of this video recording that it's part of the Indie plan, but I'm not entirely sure. Definitely check that out. But that is the traceability, and that is what allows you to not just organize your inventory, but to make it easier to use and reference that inventory through SKUs and bin numbers and zone tracking. That way, no matter what you have in your inventory, no matter where you placed it, you can easily look up that in Crafty Base system and know exactly where that's at. So you'll know you can put what shelf, what bin, and things like that. So that is a really, really awesome part of Crafty Base in my opinion. Of course, being able to organize and find a home for your materials is extremely important. But even more importantly is finding them even easier. And that is where this feature in Crafty Base comes in, and I absolutely love it. Now, how I plan to exactly do this, I don't know yet, because I've got several ideas that I'm kind of toying with. For example, one idea is that each full rack will have a name, and then each shelf will have an identifier as well. And then I could even use rows along those shelves. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is just to have some kind of reference sheet or some kind of legend that I attach to the shelves as well. And so in Crafty Base, I can say, you know, I can give a reference pointer to it's on this shelf, it's on this rack and this shelf. And then when I go to that shelf, I can quickly see on some kind of laminate where that material is, because I might move them around, I might shuffle them around. So I'm trying to figure out how detailed I want to get, or leave a little bit of room for flexibility in case I decide to shuffle stuff around randomly, which I do that a lot, especially with fragrance oils. Anyways, I kind of nerd out when it comes to this part of the business. I really like the back-end operations and the metrics of things, but regardless of my own nerdy passion for this, it's also extremely important to be able to do this in your business, particularly if you are making and selling your own products. So if you haven't checked out Crafty Base already, I would highly encourage you to do so. Check out the overview video that I'll have linked in the description below first. And if that interests you at all, then give it a try for free and see if it's something you want to continue with. If you do decide to try it, my referral link is in the description below. And again, I've been using this for several years, and it is hard to imagine running my business without it at this point. Now back to the shelves. I'm nowhere near done, but I am making progress. Now, before we continue, many of you might remember Skylar, my charcoal lab puppy that I got last year. She's getting very big now, and she's attached to my hip. She wants to be with me all the time. Well, here she is as we took a little break to play some fetch. You can see she's getting a lot more grown up now. All right, so back to the video. Now, other than just starting to build some things and add some paint to the walls, I started having some stuff show up as well. And I couldn't really go any further without this stuff starting to show up. This is packing tables, filling machines, pouring tables, more shelving, carts, all sorts of things. I really needed those things to start showing up before I could really do anything else anyways. And after some really annoying delays because of snowstorms and blizzards and delays with the carriers, I finally started to get things showing up to the warehouse. All right, so as I mentioned, finally, the first delivery of things I had been waiting for showed up. Now, this delivery specifically is from Uline, and you'll see me carrying in some packing materials as well. I go through a ton of packing peanuts. Now, I use a local distributor, seller for a lot of these materials, but because I was already putting in a semi-load full from Uline, an order, then I went ahead and just got some more packing peanuts. And I'm really, this looks like a ton. It's like a week's worth, to be honest. Luckily I'm done. Nope, one more load. Then we're wheeling in some of the equipment and pouring tables and packing tables and things like that. Well, that was delivery one that I had been waiting, I feel like 2 weeks for. Then I was also waiting on deliveries of more materials, as you'll see here, plus waxes and supplies, and they just kept showing up one after another. More materials after more materials, and even more waxes and jars and boxes, and things just kept showing up one after another. Here's Adam moving a pile of wax and tried to bust out my tires on that dolly with too much weight. But all in all, I was just happy to finally get some supplies in. All right, guys, well, that's the update I've got so far. Like I said, I wish I was further along than I am, but many of you engage with me on these other social channels, the Facebook group, Instagram, in the comments, and everywhere else, really. And a lot of you know that I've been extremely busy lately, and I always feel like I'm playing catch up. And so some things just have to be prioritized over others. Now, while it seems like a new location should be at the top of that priority list, truth be told, honestly, I have to continue to do what needs to be done first before I just take off several days, weeks worth of production just to get moved and set up at the new place. So like I said before, that's really that difficult space that I'm in right now, is that transition period, that transition time from one place to another. I'm actually falling a little bit more behind every day on normal stuff. So to be able to just stop right now and just, hey, let's just go for it. Let's just get it all. I mean, I would need like 2 weeks straight of doing that without having to do anything else, and that's just not possible. Just not an option. Yeah, so that's where I'm at so far. I hope you guys enjoyed the update, at least to this point, and I hope by the next time I do another update, there can be a lot more to share, and just maybe I can show you more of a final walkthrough rather than a update video. Anyways, thank you all for being here as usual. If you're not already a subscriber to this channel, please consider doing so, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. It really helps me out. It really helps with this channel. And yeah, I'm glad you guys are all here. If you enjoy the content on this channel, whether it's making candles or talking about candle business, then I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.